where you're at. A quick story about what our takeaway was from the movie, Sound of Freedom. It was very eye-opening for me. Stacey said it wasn't a tenth of what she saw as she was working for the FBI. So we're going to talk about that just a little bit. But first I will talk about the Jason Aldean song. This is just garbage. It's just not the song. The song's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Zero. It's just the other side trying to make noise. If anybody wanted to make noise, I printed the lyrics out, and they're not worth reading. It's like, you know, carjacker tries to jack a car, don't try that in a small town. You know, it's just normal good stuff. It's no big deal. It's not really my style of music. If I'm gonna listen to country, I'm usually gonna listen to Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, something like that. And here lately, I've been convicted of all the music that I listen to. As crazy as that sounds. You know, when you're in the gym and you want to listen to something that's kind of going, most of that stuff has a demonic tone to it, and I've had to really rein that back in. So, as far as the music,
well,
I give it a green light.
Yeah. So I'd like to say something about that a little bit. So, you guys, if we, in our pop culture nowadays, this is just my opinion, take it for what it's worth, but there's so many songs right now that have so many graphic lyrics. And you guys, you know what I'm talking about. I don't listen to that stuff, but there's a few times I've heard it and I just cringe. And I'm not saying Jason Aldean is a saint, I'm not, but you guys go look at the lyrics. That is nothing. He does not talk about all the stuff that people are claiming that he's saying. He is basically just saying, you know what, enough is enough. You're not going to carjack someone. You're not going to rob an old lady. You're not going to rob a liquor store. You're not going to do these things that are so happening. You're not going to loot a store. You're not going to burn it down. And he just stood up and said, I think what a lot of Americans are tired and they're wanting to say, this is enough is enough. And he just put it in a lyrics and he put it in a video. And it has become extremely controversial. So, and man, that guy's taking some heat. So
it's making him famous. It's
well,
the best thing that happened to him.
Well, probably true. But yeah. Anyway, so
it's awesome.
I went and reviewed it because I was curious to see. Because I don't listen to Jason Aldean, but I did listen to this just because I was curious to see what was going on. So I couldn't see anything bad in it. But there's a lot of other songs out there I know that have really bad lyrics.
I actually Googled one of the top rap songs that a lot of people listen to around here. That's so loud I can hear it in my shower.
Yeah.
You know, boom, 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 that stuff. The lyrics that's going on in there, I wouldn't be able to say, not on this channel. So it's just noise. It's white noise. Don't listen to it. We know it's right and wrong.
Well, let's talk about the movie. So Chris and I did a date night last night.
Yep.
And we went and watched Sound of Freedom. And yes. There's some controversy about who the producers are. And I got online today and I did some research. And so what, you guys? Just forget that. The message of the story is what's important. So what was your takeaway from?
Well, if you want to look at it from a critic's point of view, it wasn't, you can tell they didn't have a lot of money to make the movie. You know, there was a lot of scenes that weren't really, you know, it was a low budget movie and you could tell. Mm-hmm. Of course, the story was it was good, but it was, you know, about a really, really bad thing. And Stacey had a hard time watching it, and I understand why. But it's something that everybody needs to know that's happening. It's actually happening. Now, right now, there's a child being abused. You know, it's like it really took me back. I usually try to put myself in somebody's shoes. I'm usually able to do that. When it comes to just about anything, and I can't get there. I don't know how a grown man could do anything, or woman, or anybody like that, could harm a child. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, the people that are trying to say this movie's, some of the critics were saying bad things about the people that were watching, the audience. You know, the people that watch this are I can't remember the language. Roger, what was his Moore? What's his name?
I don't know. What do you?
Somebody put in the comments. Who's that Moore guy that I can't stand?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Anyway.
Like he said something bad about it.
Oh yeah, there's the other side. When I say the other side, you know what I mean, right? Surely you do. They're coming out with all kinds of propaganda saying this isn't real. It's not Michael Moore. That's it.
That's it, Michael Moore.
It's not really going on. Thank you, Sandra. But it is. So that makes me think, and I actually did a video about it the other day, about these are the people to watch. These are the people that we need to, hey, you're probably a pedophile. You're probably had a ticket to Epstein Island. All that's real. I got to give credit to AJ. Man, he was calling this stuff a long time ago, and everybody thought he was a nut job. Turns out he was right, you know. But the movie was good. It's not something I want to watch again, but it's something I needed to watch. It's something that made me want to help children, made me want to, you know, do whatever I could. And I think we will probably find a way to do that. I'm probably going to be bringing that up on the channel as well a little bit later. Things we can do to help these children in a real way. Not give your money to some fund that you don't know where it's spent. Something we can really do, like, together. So be thinking about that. We've been thinking about it. I know Stacey's worked with CASA before.
Can I give my take on it?
Yeah.
So my take on it, on the movie, it was well done as far as it wasn't too graphic. Because some of this stuff can leave, when you do a little bit too graphic, it can leave scars and images that's in your head forever, because I have them in mine. But I guess the takeaway I also took was this, I looked up this Tim Ballard guy, who was the person that was the movie. This was just two kids they're talking about, you guys. Just two kids. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of kids that are abducted and used daily. And what I also took away was the modeling aspect of it. If you guys, that is a true, that is something that happens every single day. Predators use modeling agencies. I watched it for so many years that they would use that. So that's something, if you're a parent, pay attention to that. I don't know, I watched the movie. I did cry a little bit. It was some scenes, but you guys, that is our kids. And if we don't stand up, and not just Colombia, it's here in the United States. And if we don't stand up and protect our kids that are here right now, and if you don't see something that's going on, and you don't stand up for our kids, anyway, I think, yeah, so I told Chris, I said, I've kind of taken a back seat for the kids for the last couple of years, because just been busy with different things, and I told Chris, I said,
well, and you got ill too.
I got sick, but...
She got sick and she had to quit.
I used to do CASA, and I've done all kinds of different things with kids and animals and stuff, but I told Chris, I said, maybe it's time to get involved again, of where we step up and it's our voice in the community with our kids. So I recommend going and seeing the movie, regardless of the controversy of what you believe on who made it and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's our take on the Sound of Freedom movie. You're going to walk out of there crying. At least I do.
We don't usually go to the movies either. The whole movie scene's, it's just not as fun as it used to be, you know, when you were younger.
We did have fun.
We had fun.
We had popcorn, and except for the scenes in the movie.
Popcorn. I even had a little high fructose corn syrup.
He did. He got some Pepsi.
Yeah, I got a Pepsi, and it doesn't do much for me. It really doesn't. It's not worth the harm it does to your body. I know that.
All
so
right.
We've got a ton of news as well.
But if you guys have seen Sound of Freedom, I'd like to know your feedback. I'd like to know what you thought of the movie. I'd like to know maybe your thoughts of how we could get involved in helping kids. But anyway, let's go on from there.
Thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button if you're on right now, because we're about to cover some news that you might not have heard of, and it always helps when you do that. But there's been major developments. The Pentagon has confirmed it's sending new deployment of Marines to the Middle East. This has to do with the tit-for-tat tanker wars that's going on, and it all started when we seized a 800,000 barrel oil tanker, Iranian oil tanker, and it's 65 miles off the coast of Galveston right now. So they were evading sanctions, supposedly. We took their oil. Now they're starting to take our ships, and it's getting worse. There's already been one of them fired on, so I should probably do a video on its own about this, but you guys are here. I'm going to give it to you first. And it might be old news now. This was a couple days ago. But Defense Secretary said new forces with warships are headed that way. The USS Batten Amphibious Readiness Group and the 26th Marine Exponential Unit are being sent to the Gulf region, which consists of about 2,500 Marines. So, did you know this? Let me know if you already know or if this is news to you. Now, this is after weeks ago, the Pentagon sent USS Thomas Hudner and additional F-35 and F-16 fighter jets over there. And we got a super chat I'll get to you in just a second. Thank you. In the region to assist A-10 attack aircraft because tankers have been coming under increasingly heat threats, including an incident which one was fired upon. So this is really starting to escalate. This is one of the many things.
It is.
You know, it's all these wars and rumors of wars. We should know this is on the way. U.S. officials fear that Iranians are poised to seize additional vessels. So that's in the works. And the problem, okay, so the tanker of oil that's off of the coast, that's just sitting out there, they're going to auction it off to give the funds, they're going to take the funds and give it to, what are they calling it? The victims of families who have been terrorism fund, victim of state-sponsored terrorism fund, people that were involved in 9/11, they're going to take the funds and give it to them. But here's the deal. They can't catch a bid on the oil because the companies that have anything to do in the Persian Gulf don't want anything to do with it because they're scared of retaliation.
From the Iranians.
From the Iranians. So this is, I hope it's not a big deal. I hope it just kind of goes away. But it's just one more thing.
Well, okay. Can I give my take on it for a little bit? So you guys think about this for a minute, because I've been following this for a little bit. So we've got American right now. We went over, and it's a little tit for tat, as they said, in the Persian Gulf right now. We took a Greek tanker. It was full of Iranian oil. We confiscated it. We drug it all the way to the Texas shores. It's sitting there, $800,000 barrels. And you guys, we can't sell it. The U.S. government right now cannot auction this off. They're begging the companies to come buy this oil, and the U.S. companies will not buy the oil because they are scared of Iran retaliation. So now you've got, if you look at this, now you've got Iran that's saying, fine, all right, you took ours, we're going to come after yours. They've come after twice. They've tried to take twice. We had shots fired the other day, and now they're coming after 2 more. So now we're sending a lot of Marines into this area. So this is a tit-for-tat skirmish, you guys. I think we need to keep our eyes on. I know you want to get to the super chat, and I'll let you get to that.
No, I'm just trying not to lose it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of what's happening right now, you guys. We're in the Persian Gulf, and right now, just so you know, Russia and China actually have just gotten through doing a thing in the Persian Gulf. They've also done something. So we're in the Persian Gulf right now. We're sending 2,500 Marines. So you guys keep an eye on that. All right, go to the super chat. But I think that's something to keep an eye on.
From Heir to the Ron. Did Carlos Slim fund that movie? I've heard something about that. I'm not sure. They did have it made for 5 years, and they said they hit every roadblock possible. If you go watch the movie, wait all the way to the end and watch after the little 2 minutes rundown, and he will explain why they're putting it into the movie theaters and they're trying to keep it there. And I think he had a legitimate, good reasons, because when you go there, you're there. You're not kind of watching it on Netflix. You kind of get the whole thing. And I did. I'm really glad we went.
I'm sure there's always something behind the scenes.
But thank you for the super chat.
But thank you for the super chat. But I will tell you, the story of the video or of the movie needs to be said. Our children are being trafficked, and I'm just going to go off on a rampant just real quick for 5 seconds here. Our children are being trafficked in the United States and across the seas. Where I used to work, I used to watch businessmen board planes to go to other countries. They would do things to children that were horrible. I could not arrest them when they came back because I had no evidence and I had no images. This is happening globally, you guys. It's been happening for years and years, and so many people that I used to work with can vouch for this and they can talk about this. This is something that needs to be said. Our children are being hurt and trafficked. That is the end of the day. That's the truth. And if we don't stand up for our innocent children, who's going to? So I told Chris, I said, I don't know how and what capacity, but I feel like I have to stand up again. So I'm going to be looking for something to stand up, and we'll see where that takes me. So
It's going to be good.
All right.
What other news you want to throw in
So
here?
let's talk about what just goes into more of control and stuff like that. The World Health Organization, and we've briefly mentioned this to you guys before, but they are using surveillance systems because of the heat. So you guys just pay attention, things that are going on right now in your community. They're using the heat as an excuse, as a climate thing, and they're going to do, quote, surveillance. They're the most vulnerable, they're saying. So you guys, if you see stuff that's coming up that is in your area, they're saying that it's going to be, it's the United Nations also, on a heat of health, and it's in the Europe and active surveillance and identifying susceptible people that are like more vulnerable and all this kind of stuff. So you guys just pay attention. If you start to see certain things pop up in your neighborhood, this is happening. And also, based on what you just talked about, what you're talking about, what's going on in the seas or whatever, going on into the what you just talk about, the
tit for tat.
Tit for tat. Thank you. So now Russia, China are kicking off a joint naval drill. You guys, I did not realize how many times they have done joint exercises together. In the last 2022, they have done 6 military exercises together. And right now they're in the Japan seas, and they are saying they're warning Japan over its deepening cooperation with NATO. And it's becoming a really big issue right now. We've stepped up our thing with Japan. We're starting to, well, give them more.
These exercises they're doing with Russia makes up of 2/3 of Chinese exercises last year. They are getting ready. They conducted 6 joint military exercises together. And guys, these are 2 superpowers. Russia and China are no small chumps. This is, man, we've never been so close to World War III in my life. Never. And all the older people I talk to say the same thing. So, guys, when we talk about this stuff, it's not to scare anybody, but it is to bring awareness. And, you know, food is going to be more expensive, and I am sure that the government is going to roll out some stimmies. Fact, when people get hungry, they're going to stimulate.
They will.
This is going to be more money printing, and this is going to make food more expensive overseas. So the people, like the people in Africa that are dealing with 20% less food, that they already are starving, you know, now they just have 20% less, they're going to have 20% less plus higher prices, and maybe less. So these shortcomings are going to really affect us, but they're going to hammer other nations.
And then you got tomorrow, you guys, just heads up, we got the Federal Reserve that's meeting again, and they're going to raise interest rates supposedly again. They're saying that they're going to, because they did a pause in June. They said, okay, we'll take a pause, but now they're meeting again. They're going to meet tomorrow, finish Wednesday. So you guys be prepared come Wednesday when they probably do their announcement that they will be saying it's probably going to be a 25 probably hike is what they're anticipating. And on top of that, I want to talk about something interesting. We've talked about crypto. This is a story that just came out today. Sam Altman. And we've been talking about him for a while with open source, and he's testified before Congress, and he's claiming that we need to be careful about AI and all that. But interestingly enough, they have just rolled out, it's called a world coin. It's a cryptocurrency. But the problem with cryptocurrencies is they're saying, hey, how do we know you're really actually a human? So they're going to do an in-person iris scan, which is your eyeball, and that is going to say, they're going to say, so you're a real person, and it's going to create a world ID that's going to allow you, it's, quote, a digital passport.
That's what it
That's
says.
going to say that you can get the world coin, a cryptocurrency from open source.
To obtain a world ID,
Yep.
customers must do an in-person iris scan using WorldCoin's orb. Now, I just got a text from a good friend of mine, and he's a real godly man, and he was telling me how demonic beings have to do with orbs. And he was saying Sam Altman, you know, we know them by their names. This is that I would read you the text, but it's on the camera that I'm using. But during its beta period, the project gained 2 million users and is now expanding operations to 35 cities in 20 countries. Users who sign up in certain countries will receive WorldCoin's cryptocurrency token WLD. You'll probably start seeing that. WLD's price rose to $5.29 on Binance. World IDs can be stored on blockchains to preserve privacy. World IDs can differentiate between real people and AI bots online. I knew this was coming. You know, everything, we've got bots in the comments. Guys, I'll never ask you for money or anything in the comments. It's not me. They use my picture and it's very annoying. It's a full-time job kicking them out of there all the time. World IDs can, well, let's go to Altman. Altman believes UBI can help combat income equality in a world where AI takes over jobs. And this has been the case for a while. You know, if we have self-driving vehicles, why do we need a driver? If we don't need a bank teller, you know, what are they going to do? And that's where they start talking about the UBI, Universal Basic Income. And this is coming. They're already trying it. They're already doing it in some places. And it's coming here for sure. And this will make everybody a little poorer because they're going to take it from us to pay. And whoever holds these, the technology will be, you know, part of the few. You can bank on that. The few that wants to tell everybody else what to do. So that's coming. Look for the World Coin. Watch it. It's you may have to get some AI to kick out the AI. That's right. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened there. But the project aims to experiment and figure out the best approach for the future. I went in and looked around at some of the names that were involved in this, and one came up. It was called Tools for Humanity, based in San Francisco. So that'll give you a rabbit hole to go down because that's who's creating this. WorldCoin's not available in the USA yet. They're delaying it because we know you push back and resistance. Yeah, no, I think that has to do a lot with everything. I mean, the Americans hadn't really, as a whole, hadn't really caught on to exactly what's happening yet. And when they do, there's going to be some major retaliation because conservatives, all they really want to do is go to work, come home, grill burgers on the weekend. You know, they're not really, a lot of them aren't really watching all this because, you know, something like that movie will come out, Sound of Freedom, and then they'll try to debunk it. They'll put a little bit of, that's all you have to do. That's what Satan did in the beginning. That's what he did in Genesis. You know,
a little bit of doubt.
A little bit of doubt, little lie, and that's enough to really, you know, make you, and it's just easier to go this way. You know, it's already easy to go that way, and then there's a little bit of doubt, so that just kind of, okay, let's just don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. All those kids, they're overseas. Don't worry. And the same thing, Charles Darwin, you know, how the world was created. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, it helped me tremendously in my faith to learn about all of that. There is 100% a creator. There is no way Nothing exploded into everything. I blew up a balloon yesterday, and nothing came from it. Nothing. Destruction. Explosions don't, it's stupid. So many facts around that, guys. I'm really giving you the kind of the straightforward approach, but is there anything you want to mention?
No, I recommend everybody go see The Sound of Freedom. I really do. You can have your own take on it. You can like or dislike the creators of it, but I think it's something that needs to be said. I think it needs to be brought out into our society. I think it needs to be pushed more. But I don't think it needs to be just a movie. We don't need to just go to the movie theater and then walk away and go, oh, that was a movie. Oh, okay. You guys, we need to pay attention. What's happening in your neighborhood? Do you see a kid that's maybe like having issues? Do you see a kid that maybe doesn't make sense where they are? And I think we really need to step up as a society and sorry, I'm going to go off.
Go.
And just say, hey, you guys, that is our future. Our kids is our future. And if we don't stand up and be their voice, who's going to be? Because they're tiny. They can't speak. And when I saw that movie again, it just really hit home to me. Because I used to do this every single day for years, and I've gotten away from it for the last couple of years because, well, I got sick and then we've been doing businesses. But the scenes that hit me the most, and Chris told me stop talking about it, was the mattresses. And that's what I used to see all the time, was the stained mattresses. And you guys, there's kids out there that are being hurt right now. And if we don't pay attention and we don't stand up and we don't look in our own society, right down the street, right down the neighborhood, and go, whatever our kids are happening to our kids and protect our kids, then who are we? I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, there's a lot of people that are taking the red pill now. And once you take the red pill, it's hard to go back, if you remember the Matrix. And that's where we're going to be in Iowa in 2.5 weeks.
Yep, we'll be there.
2.5 weeks.
Looking forward to
Iowa, the red pill. You're going to learn something. You're going to take away something, and you're going to meet some people that you're never going to forget.
That's right.
All you have to do is run around and talk, because those people are you. They're like you. They're like me. That's why I go to places like that. If it wasn't fun, I promise you I would not go. I don't do things that aren't fun. When it comes to that. Yeah, but that's fun, right?
Yep.
Learning about what's going to happen in the future, that should be fun. Even though it is kind of gloomy, but you're going to be ahead of everybody else. It takes me back to when I started learning about how much Facebook had to do with the woohoo bat flu and how it got here. I know I mention it all the time, but it blew my mind how they put it together. And we knew this right out of the gate.
Yep.
And we could see it unfold. You could see, even now, there's a lady coming on Twitter, and she's come up with a way to detox from the jab. All right? Well, and it was working. She shared it on Facebook. They took her down.
They did.
That is the same way they did with us.
Yep.
And for those of you that don't know, I shared a video about the bat flu as soon as it came out, and it was up 8 minutes and they took it down. There was nothing wrong. There was nothing bad. There was no nudity.
It was from a doctor.
It was from a doctor. He was a 30-year virologist. He knew exactly what was going on. Nope. That is misinformation.
Yep. Not only did they take it down, but they took away all of our business pages. So I lost all of my business pages
Our
from
real estate
all of
stuff.
real estate we had investment properties and I had a real estate page. So all those contacts we lost, and I applied 5 times and I was denied every single time, and I've never gotten that information back. So you guys, it's just important.
That's why I'm not on Facebook much.
Share this information. Talk about this stuff. Get out there into your community.
Awareness is the thing.
Yep.
That's what the movie was about. It was about awareness.
It is. It is.
That's why we talk about these tanker wars and sending troops to the Middle East again, and all this stuff. It's just awareness. Now you can do something. If you don't know, you can't. Facebook is the devil. I completely agree. I despise them. Maybe I should pray for them instead. That has really helped me. Praying in the morning has helped me a lot. My day is not the same without it. I encourage you to do that.
I love you do that.
Yeah, it changes everything. And sit up straight, turn your palms up. I know it's crazy. A friend of mine sent me a video on how to pray, and it's all part of it. And you can start with telling him how sorry you are because I fall short constantly. But, you know, every day it gets better. You create that relationship. It's just like, you know, sometimes we sit down and pray and it's like a laundry list. Hey, I want to pray for them and pray for this and pray for, you know, I want you to do all these things for me. God's like, I hadn't heard from you in a long time. I mean, what, you know, I'm not a call me if you need me kind of friend. He wants to be a part of your life, you know, and that's what I feel. That's what I get when I pray in the morning. So, and I pray for you guys too, every day. So, guys, you got any questions?
Which, by the way, you guys, if you're listening,
I do have a Rumble account, guys, and go check out the Rumble account.
Please do, and our Twitter account. We're working so hard.
FP Network.
Yes, on Rumble.
On Rumble, FP Network, because, for instance, yesterday we gained 25 subscribers, and we lost every one of them today, and more. We're going backwards. It's not that the channel stopped; it goes up and then it comes back down.
YouTube takes them away.
They're keeping us down, and I have a feeling it's about the stuff that we talk about. That's why I always ask to hit the like button. I always ask to share the video. But I don't know. I mean, I appreciate it, and it can't hurt. But
and go to our Twitter page too, because we're really trying hard to build that up over there. And what's the Twitter thing?
Twitter's the mecca of news, guys. I know if you don't like it or whatever.
Financial Prepper, PREPR.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Financial Prep R. So PPR.
Yeah. And we post there pretty much hourly. So anyway, thanks for being a leader for our home. I love it.
Thank you. All right, guys. Have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one.